What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report. It is Sunday, the 29th of March, 2020. I'm sorry for the delayed report. Usually I'll shoot these reports on a Saturday and put them up for Sunday morning, but just around the time I was getting ready to shoot the report yesterday, big windstorm showed up in St. Louis, started throwing furniture through windows and branches falling onto trees. I had to deal with all that. By the time I got done with that, I was too tired. I just wanted to go to sleep. So I'm shooting this one a little late. Hopefully it'll be up by Sunday evening. Let's get into the news. As always, the first link below will take you over to the Blogspot post. That's where you can find all this madness. Starting off, at the beginning of the week, we had the Surgeon General warning that this week it was going to get bad, and he wasn't playing. I'll put a link to this story, and let's take a look at the current map, because we have outnumbered China and even Italy. It looks like Italy outnumbered China. Not that we could trust the numbers coming out of China, but the United States, as I shoot this video, has 124,000 cases with over 2,000 deaths. And it is just, whether you think this thing is real or not, I mean, the map speaks for itself. I'm tongue-tied. Let's just get into the news. Coronavirus killing people in New York at the rate of one every 17 minutes. This is a link from MarketWatch. And holy shit, this is not the flu. Medical worker describes terrifying lung failure from COVID-19 even in young patients. Article from Zero Hedge. Got one from MSN. Coronavirus traces lingered in vacated cruise cabins for 17 days. So we're supposed to do this 15 days to stop the virus, but now they're reporting that it lasts for up to 17 days on surfaces. So I don't know how this is going to work. They warn of a second wave. Speaking of that, coronavirus White House health advisor Fauci says U.S. needs to be prepared for a second cycle. Well, Fauci would know because, Fauci knows the future. Fauci predicted all this back in 2017. Yes, he did. See my last video. Other news, Amazon workers at 6 U.S. warehouses test positive for coronavirus. So if you're expecting a package from Amazon, be advised. And COVID-19 drives command teams charged with Homeland Defense into Cheyenne Mountain Bunker. Jericho? Couple more. Biden Kuroda briefing goes horribly wrong. Video 323. Apparently his teleprompter broke down, and they got the video from Twitter here. He just doesn't know what to say without the teleprompter. One more in the general bin. Of course, President Clown tweets, General Motors must immediately open their stupidly abandoned plant to do ventilators. Okay, do you have to say stupidly abandoned? I mean, it's just not presidential. I mean, have you seen some of his news conferences this past week? I don't know. Anyway, financial news. How major U.S. stock indexes fared on Friday. Looks like on Friday, the Dow fell that's the S&P. The Dow fell 915 points, over 4%. Before the week, the Dow actually rose 2,462 points, over 12%. So the markets are still up and down, up and down. One day it's up 1,000, another day it's down 2,000. I'll put a link to the recap data. This was the fastest 30% sell-off ever, exceeding the pace of declines during the Great Depression, says CNBC. I'll put a link to that. Trump signs into law the largest bailout in U.S. history. Yes, what is it, the $2 trillion, $3 trillion? So some people are saying $8 trillion. I mean, who's going to pay for all this? Over in my favorites, there's a video of someone breaking down the bill. This stimulus package, I don't know that it included the digital dollar. I haven't had a chance to go through the whole thing yet, but see my last video for that information, by the way. U.S. weekly jobs claims spiked to record 3.3 million as coronavirus outbreak triggers widespread unemployment. 3.3 million unemployment claims this week. Meanwhile, Federal Reserve to lend, words are important, lend additional $1 trillion a day to large banks. Isn't that nice of them? Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve just pledged asset purchases with no limit to support the markets. So up and away with the debt. I mean, like Goodfellas said, nobody's going to pay for it anyway, right? No, the American people will end up paying for it. The Guardian reports over to New World Order Police State News. Gordon Brown calls for a global government to tackle coronavirus. Well, of course he does. The ex-prime minister at the center of 2008 bank rescue suggests task force leader and health experts create a temporary world government to deal with the coronavirus. Well, of course, temporary, global, whatever. Coronavirus crimes can be charged as acts of terrorism, Justice Department says. Be advised, if you're one of these stupid people going around to grocery stores and spitting on food and things like this, you can be charged as a terrorist. Put a link to this. Rhode Island police to hunt down. Now, Rhode Island police to hunt down New Yorkers seeking refuge. I mean, this kind of news is in the New World Order Police State bin for a reason. Police are going to hunt. I mean, think about this, people. Look where we are. I'm just Flabbergasted by all this. Texas National Guard troops could go door-to-door checkups in Dallas. Be advised. Door-to-door checkups, huh? Gun confiscation much? I don't know. Just my own speculation. Pennsylvania Republican introduces bill requiring permit to purchase ammunition. I don't know much about this, but yes, a couple of people pointed out last week that I didn't include any articles relating to the gun grab and, the gun stuff going on. There is a lot of stuff going on. I apologize for that. Here's an article here. They're trying to introduce legislation to, you need a permit to get ammunition. What good is a gun without ammunition? One more, in the New World Order police state bin, UK internet capacity could be rationed to prioritize critical apps and websites. Be advised, internet control is coming, as I've always said all these years. Enjoy this tool we have to communicate. We will not have it forever. They will put the clamps down at some point. Over to World War III news, and I apologize I'm not all with it like I was last week. I spent half the night out looking for lost patio furniture, so I'm a little stuffy-headed. Anyway, let's get on with it. World War III, Trump refuses to accept U.S. hostage death in Iranian custody. I don't know anything about this, but I saw this come across GLP this week. I'll put a link to this. New way of staging a coup. Venezuela foreign minister blasts U.S. for narco-terrorism charges against Maduro. Again, I don't know. I haven't looked into any of this World War III news. Just be advised. Rocket lands near Baghdad's green zone. U.S. helicopter scrambled. Who shot the rocket off? I don't know. I'll put a link to the story, though. Sputnik puts this out. U.S. to cut $1 billion in Afghanistan aid over leadership failure by Afghan rivals. Whatever. I'll put a link to this. I don't know what's going on. We're cutting aid to Afghanistan. Meanwhile, did Lil Kim order North Korea's first coronavirus patient to be executed? Lil Kim, did you do that? I don't know, but why is he asking for help? North Korea is secretly asking for coronavirus aid from other countries while publicly denying that they have any cases. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news. Looks like we had a couple big quakes this week. We had a 6.0 out of the Philippines on March 26th. On the 25th, we had the big one over off the east coast of Russia. I got an article coming up on that. And a 6.1 on the 22nd. Central coast, somewhere over there. I'll put a link to the earthquake data if you want to check this. I got it set for 6 points and above. If you want to kick it down to 5, there's been plenty of 5-pointers around the world the past week. Some volcano activity. We got the 7.2 magnitude earthquake rocks Russia's Far East sparks tsunami alert. I watched this one closely. It was pretty deep. It didn't really spark much of a tsunami, but it was interesting that when that alert came out. James Woods got into the earth changes in 2012 business this week because we don't have enough on our plates these days. He posted video of I think this is the Indonesian volcano that went off. Somebody posted a link down in the, yes, Indonesian volcano spews ash thousands of feet, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, James Woods, shout out to you. You got a link on that. UK sewage system in danger of gridlock from toilet paper substitutes. Please stop flushing, paper towels and t-shirts and all this. This isn't just the UK. It's going on in the US too. You can Google search if you want those links. Grid overseers issue warning on coronavirus. Yes, America has a very old electrical grid. We rely on parts being manufactured to keep our lines in order. And now everything's shut down, so parts aren't being made to keep the grid in order. So there's been a warning put out on the electrical grid as if we need more on our plates. James Woods put a link to that. And Express puts out alien attack threat. World is totally unprepared for an invasion, says Pope. No way, Pope! I mean, do you really believe that aliens would want something to do with this disease-infected planet now? Give me a break. That's not the real Pope, by the way. Just some guy named Pope. Over to strange and bizarre news. Speaking of aliens not wanting anything to do with anything, Madonna claims the killer bug is the great equalizer in an extraordinary ranch. She's laying in a bathtub full of milk, surrounded by flowers, talking about how this is the great equalizer. Madonna. Something wrong with you. Monica Lewinsky urges her 750,000 followers to send feces to the White House. Oh, Monica! Ah! Nice mouth. Put a link to that. DailyMail.com puts this, do not try this at home. Florida politician apologizes after claiming that blowing hairdryer up your nose kills the coronavirus because it can't survive at temperatures of 136 degrees. What? I'll put a link to this. The New York Post puts this. Look at the Rwandan man who breached coronavirus lockdown killed by crocodile. You can't make this shit up. Nom, nom, nom. I eat corona for breakfast. Put a link to that. After panic crowds swarm Denver liquor stores and dispensaries, mayor reverses order to close both. No more alcohol. No more weed. I'll put a link to that. DailyMail.com. One more. Couple furious when they are told they are not allowed to buy 552 cans of Mountain Dew due to coronavirus rationing at Kroger in Kentucky. You know the first person I thought of? Leave it in the comments if you know. I'm not going to say it. I'll put a link to this. I need my Mountain Dew. For all other news, please check my favorite videos. I have favorited tons of stuff this week. Like I said, there's a video over there that I only got partially into about the guy breaking down the bill that was just signed, the $2 to $10 trillion bill, or whatever they're calling it now. TFL, he called his local sheriff's office to report this was all an inside job. Show me baby's got to go in over there. New York Times, people are dying. This is what it looks like inside New York Hospital. Doctor sounding the alarm, all kinds of stuff. Thank you to everybody who continues to put out content. My favorites is packed this week. Definitely check it out. And shoutouts this week. This is where things get emotional because shoutouts this week have to go to the first responders, not only the police, firefighters, paramedics, but the nurses, the doctors, everyone involved in this thing. There's a lot of people who still don't think that all this is real. Now, whether it's the coronavirus or whether it's related to 5G, whatever it is, I can tell you, something is going on. I live in a big city. I live in St. Louis. I listen to the scanner all the time. Code 20 is all I'm hearing. That is possible coronavirus cases. Our first responders are doing the most difficult and stressful job. They're having to deal with all this mess. I've got an article here that says 129 members of the NYPD and 46 members of FDNY have COVID-19. I've seen another article since I've bookmarked this that over 500 members of the NYPD now have COVID and one has died. Just to put a face to it, I'll give you a second article. FDNY paramedic on life support, on a ventilator. These people are heroes. These are the people that are having to deal with this crap. Whether you think it's real or not, whether you think it's the coronavirus or 5G or whatever, this is happening, and these people are getting sick and dying because of it. You know, nobody showed up at the World Trade Center that day asking who did this. Those guys just ran in there, and they're doing it right now. And we need to keep them in our thoughts. That's all I got for this week, guys. If you like these reports, you can support me on Patreon or with PayPal. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Gab to get the latest news from me through the week. I'm constantly tweeting stuff out. Anything I think is important, I will send it out on my feeds. Please rate the video. Please pass it around. Please share it to make people aware of the news. I'm sorry to get emotional in the end here after trying to maintain some sort of positive vibe, but the first responders, man, they're running into this mess without asking any questions. They're doing it in my city. If you live in a city, turn on your scanner and listen to what's happening. Listen to your paramedics, listen to your firefighters, listen to your police officers. I'm not talking about the whole police state aspect of this. That's another thing. I'm talking about the people who are trying to save lives. They're the heroes. That's all I got for this one. You guys take care, stay safe, have a good week, remain vigilant. Who knows what's coming next? But take care of each other. I'll see you on the next one.